Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into that, just want to reflect on how our selections have performed today. Now I'm recording this video just before 7 o'clock in the evening, and the time of recording we still do have 2 more selections to go. That's first dance in the 740 at Wolverhampton, and also as well in the 810, my next best of the day, Elegant Love, is going to be running there. So yeah, we've still got 2 more tips to run tonight, but so far it's not been a bad day for us. Our highlight of the day was definitely our nap at Air. That was Strong Economy, who came from the back of the telly in the race. And if you were watching it, I saw some people said in my Twitter feed that they turned off the race earlier, but if you had kept on and watched the race, you would have seen this horse just emerge back in the picture again and stayed on really strongly. And if you actually watched the race last time at Air, you could see he's a bit of a lazy type, but he's very game and very tough. And in the end, he absolutely flew home. I believe he traded 820 to 1 in running on the Betfair exchange. So hope some of you were maybe able to back him over there. But we put him up here last night at 9 to 2. That's the price he won at in the end. And I saw at one point today he was available at 6 to 1. So if you were able to get that at 6, fair play to you. But still 9 to 2, that's not a bad price there. I'm not going to be complaining about that one. And it was nice that we had some luck go our way for a change. Also as well, it would be interesting to see what they do with him, because he looks like he could probably relish a real trip, a 4-mile trip. Maybe they might take their chances in a race like the Ida Chase at Newcastle off a nice low racing weight. Maybe if they booked a conditional jockey. I know Derek Fox, who rode him, can do lightweight, but who knows, maybe if they put on a decent £7 claimer, I don't know, someone like Kevin Brogan or someone, that would be really tasty. I think he could go well in a race like that, where definitely stamina is his forte. So that was Strong Economy there. The other 2 tips that have run for us so far today, Coulter went in the first at Punchestown. He ran okay, but just wasn't good enough on the day, finished in 4th place, and there were not too many excuses for him. And then the other selection that's just run for us at Wolverhampton was Kazar. Now we put him up at 10 to 1 last night, and there was a lot of market support for him up till post time just before the race, and I was fairly confident of a good run. But blimey, I don't know what Russell Ryan was doing there. That was a really questionable ride. I'm sure the stewards are going to have a word with him, because if you watch the race, he went out very wide down the back straight, and he tried to kind of force the pace, and try and make the run in. It was a bit of a bizarre ride. I've not really seen too many rides like that. I thought obviously they were trying to do something different, because I know he is a bit of a quirky type. But normally he likes to come with a late run, he likes to be held up and come with a late surge and use a turn of foot, which is normally his main asset. And I just think by going out wide and going trying to get to the lead, I think he burned up quite a lot of petrol, and he didn't really give us a good run for our money. So yeah, a bit of a questionable ride there, especially as well with the market support behind it. So yeah, very frustrating. But yeah, all in all, it has been a good day here with our winning nap, and also as well, we still do have 2 selections to go, which will hopefully mean we can have a very profitable day. If they did both not come in, we still have had a fairly good day, but we could do with a little bit of a top up there. So yeah, hopefully we can end on a high with our 2 remaining selections at Wolverhampton. But let's get into the tips then for tomorrow's racing. 4 tips for tomorrow. And with our first tip tomorrow, we are going to be going with my nap, where we go to Fakenham for the 125. And I thought Dundrum would here for Ollie Murphy and Fergus Gregory claiming 3 would take all the beating in this novice handicap chase. Now, if you go back and watch the race last time at Newcastle, this horse, I think, did the job really well. He dug in and he jumped quite well for a long way, and in the end he was just too good for them on the day. Now, if you look at the form of that race, the James Hewitt horse in there, Empire de Mold, has actually gone and won on his next start, boosting that form, and he was rated in the low 120s. So that was a fairly good effort, I think, by Dundrum Wood for Ollie Murphy. He's actually a horse that I've had my eye on for a little bit of a while. I actually put him up a couple of times last year when he ran over hurdles, and he always looked like he would go chasing. He's a really big figure of a horse. He's a very, very imposing type, and he always looked like he would jump a fence. And he seems to have taken to it not too badly. I know he didn't quite live up to expectations on his debut run at Kelso when he finished in 4th. But Ollie Murphy's yard wasn't going great guns then, bit of a patchy stable, but normally in January they tend to come good, and they've been in a bit of good vein of form recently. They've been having some of their horses run really well for them. And they had a winner today with a horse called Champagne Super Over in the McNeil colours. So they're coming obviously to a little bit of form now. And I think this horse tomorrow definitely has a little bit more scope off his mark. He was raised £4 by the handicapper. He won that race at Newcastle off a mark of 117. He's gone up to 121, which I think is fairly workable. And I think he'll take all the beating in this race tomorrow. I think he's really progressive. And I'd be disappointed in time if he couldn't be at least a 130 horse. So Dundrum Wood, I think he's got plenty of positives tomorrow. Yard in form, won nicely last time, form boosted at 7-4. I think that's a good price there. And I think he'll take all the beating in that race at Fakenham. So that's why he's going to be my nap of the day. And I'm going to recommend a 1 point win bet there. We then move to our long shot of the day, which comes in the 245 at Exeter, where I'm going with a horse here called Miss Honey Rider for Caelan Quinn, claiming a handy £10 off the horse's back, and he's riding for his boss tomorrow, Warren Grettrex. Some of you might be asking, why is he able to claim £10? That's because he's riding for his boss, and if this was a normal race and he wasn't riding for his boss, he'd just be claiming 7. But because when you are in the early phases of your career as a conditional jockey and you're riding for your boss that you're attached to, you're able to claim £10. And in a race of this nature, it's just going to make so much difference, really. And that's why I think this horse has got a really good chance tomorrow, just because she's getting that £10, which is really going to help her. But if you actually look at this horse overall, she's actually got quite an interesting profile. Now, her last couple of starts maybe have been disappointing, but I thought there was a bit of encouragement on her last run when she ran in a Potomps Network qualifier at Wincanton on Boxing Day. She ran really well for a long way that day, but just got outclassed and a bit tired down the straight. However, tomorrow she's going to be dropping back in trip to 2 miles 2 furlongs, which is going to help because that was over 2 miles 5 furlongs. And she's been given a little bit of ease by the handicapper. He was able to drop her £3 for that run off a mark now to 114. But if you go back from her form last season and go back a little bit further, she actually came to the fore around about January, February time. She looks like she could be a spring type, and that's something I often always look at. What kind of time of year do horses normally perform at? And this looks like we could be coming to a time of year, She actually won a maiden hurdle at Huntington, not a bad maiden hurdle as well, taking on some nice mares when she won off a rating that day of 115, and that was in testing ground. She also as well ran a nice race against the Paul Nicholls mare when she finished second at Wincanton in January. So she obviously seems to do well at this time of year and in testing ground, and there's going to be plenty of rain around tomorrow. Storm coming in overnight tonight and be lingering on into tomorrow morning, so it'll probably be hard work for this horse, but I think there's a lot to like about her. Also as well, Warren Grettrex's team are coming into a little bit of form now. They've had a couple of winners in the last fortnight, and they tend to do quite well in January as well. It's normally the time to catch them around about this time of year. They haven't been in the best of form the last couple of years, but obviously a few years ago they were really doing well. But the last couple of years they have been a little bit hard to read. But with a horse like this, I wouldn't be too concerned about the stable form, but it's good to know that they are having a couple of winners. But Caelan Quinn as well, I've heard a lot about him as well. A man to follow. A lot of people have been saying a good word about him. He was riding over in Ireland, but he's come here now. And with the £10 that he's going to be able to claim tomorrow, I think this horse has outstanding claims. And there's 14-1 available at the time recording with Skybet, who are offering 5 places. I'm going to recommend this one as my long shot of the day, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way bet there. We then go to and stay at Exeter, I should say, for my next tip, my next best of the day, which runs in the 3:45, and I'm going to be going with Don Herbager here for Charlie Deutsch and Venetia Williams. Now, some of you might remember I put this horse up a couple of weeks ago when he was due to run at Foss last, but we all know what happened that day. Got abandoned last minute and he never got to run. But if you look at his 2 runs so far this season, he's definitely put in some really good effort. He's finished second at Lingfield behind a John Joe Neal horse called Hang Tough, and the pair weren't that far away from each other. There was only about a length in it, but the pair were miles clear of the rest of the field that day, and he really did show a good attitude. He then ran at Foss last next time out, finishing in 3rd place. However, that was over a slightly shorter trip than ideal. That was over 2.5 miles. And I just think that day he was staying on really strongly, and you could see that he really wanted to go up in trip. So he's going back up in trip tomorrow, which I think will help. And also as well, he'll have the testing ground in his side. He's rated 89, and I think he's better than that. And he's got a lot of scope and a lot of potential. Venetia's horses have been running not too badly of late. And the favourite in here, Ballybring, is a bit of a quirky horse. And under a penalty, I think our fella's quite well treated off the mark of 89, so I'd be disappointed if he couldn't go close tomorrow. He's currently available 11-4 at the time of recording, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here. I expect on Herbager to go very close, and I'm hoping he can break his maiden tag over fences. So that's going to be the next best of the day. We then go with an extra tip to Southwell for the evening racing there on the 5% in the 640, and I'm going to be going with a horse here called Secret Handsheikh for Holly Doyle and Archie Watson. Now this horse at the time recording is 3-1 in the betting best price, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here. Now this horse I thought ran a really good race last time out behind the Yorkshire Pirlo, who was a really good winner that day when Laura Pearson was aboard, and she's been crest of a wave over the last few weeks or so, riding a lot of winners at the likes of Newcastle and also as well at Southwell, but she gave that one a particularly good ride. I remember that day, and Secret Handsheikh was giving that horse a lot of weight, but he seemed to really stick well. He seemed to stick to the task really well that day. That was also as well the first time they ever tried him in blinkers, and he's going to be keeping the blinkers. I think he handled, like I said, the surface really well. The form of that race has worked out not too badly, because the third place horse has come out and won on their next start, and they were a couple of lengths clear of that horse. So I think this horse off a mark of 71 was actually dropped £1 for that run last time at Southwell. Could be still well in here. There's a few horses in here tomorrow that are going to be making their 5% debuts, and that's always something that does concern me. I always like to go with the proven course form at Southwell on the 5%, and it's a shame in my opinion we're about to lose it. But I think Secret Handsheikh has a lot in his favour tomorrow. The Arder in form as well, which is a good thing to note. I think at 3-1 this horse has got really standout claims, and I'll be disappointed again if he can go close. So I've got there 4 tips for you for tomorrow's racing. Quickly just reflect on them then. In the 125 at Fakenham, we go with my nap, which is Dundrum Wood at 7-4, win only bet at 1-point win. We then go to the 245 at Exeter with Miss Honey Rider as my long shot of the day, 14-1 each way, 5 places Skybet at 0.5 each way. The next best of the day is Don Herbager in the 345 at Exeter, 11-4, 1-point win only bet. And then in the 640 at Southwell, Secret Handsheikh, we go there with a 3-1, 1-point win bet. So there are the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you're enjoying these videos, please remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe here to my YouTube channel for more videos. Also as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, and that's the best place to follow me on social media as well, where my handle is @LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please game responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.